Okay, but like I said, unlike all those games, this is a kills based game. There's no time limit. You're not you're not forced to be in a scenario for like 30 minutes. You know, you're stuck because you can't leave early because if you do, or you can't leave early because if you do, it doesn't count as a completion. Not here. So if you can get you this really good build that just steamroll stuff, your run will only last like 5 minutes. Like a few minutes. But the goal in each of these though is to you want to kill 5 bosses. They call them Lords of the Void. When you first start the game, it's gonna be 5. When you get to my level, it'll end up being 20 Lords of the Void that you'll have to kill. So, and at my level, they'll come in like 4 at a time, 4 lords at a time. And then something else I like to bring up too. Unlike all the other ones, you could turn this off, or you could turn this off. The like whenever you level up, everything just stops and you get your three, 4, or 5 options. Whatever upgrade, that kind of thing. I'm sure you've seen that before. In this game, you could turn that off. And towards the bottom of the screen, you'll see it. I'll start building up skill points, and then you can just pause the game at any time, and you can spend them. Auto aim. I gotta sit down. The knee's starting to hurt. What is? I think the only game where you can manually aim your attacks is Holocure. But on that game, you can't auto aim. You have to manually aim the whole time. But in this game, you can auto aim, and it just aims at the closest enemy. So you got two big quality of life improvements here. I guess you can play mouse only. I've never done it. I prefer controller. Pause on Focus Lost. More games need this. A lot of the games that I played over the years, the moment you leave the game window, it suddenly pauses. Crazy as it might sound, I don't always want that. I still want the game to be running while I'm on another window or while I'm elsewhere. So you can turn that off. I kind of keep forgetting about this here. Like you can't. Like if you have a habit of like spamming buttons, you can set the delay on this. I know Holocure has this. Like the item's called plushie. Like you only take 10% of the initial damage. The rest is dealt to you over time. It actually shows like on your health bar. It shows a pink part, either pink or green. I can't remember which is the damage over time that you're gonna take. This game kind of has that too. Like it'll show purple on that health bar for how much doom damage, all this. So this is really helpful right here. So it's not just one solid red bar. It lets you know where most of your damage is coming from. So in case I didn't say earlier, yeah, I freaking love this game. And then it'll show the buffs and debuffs right on your character. I think other games have it too. I can't remember which ones though. Yeah, I don't mess with the mini map much. Yeah, didn't really pay attention to this one. But you can customize your crosshair. I don't really see that in other games. You're just stuck with what they give you. Yeah, I gotta have a low res. This is one of those games where I can't adjust the actual screen size. I have to go with a preset resolution. This actually helps me out a bit because it doesn't cover up the entire screen, so I can have OBS underneath it. So if, say, the Twitch servers start fucking up, I'll know it. If I start getting encoding overloaded messages, meaning my OBS / computer is fucking up and can't handle what's given. You get the idea. So, audio voiceover. Yeah, I turn that shit off. This is one drawback to the game. Like every time you level up, you get a voice line. Like every time you get a boss and or kill a boss, you get a voice line. It wouldn't be so bad if they had what was on I believe Warcraft had it. You could set it to where the voice lines only go off like I think it's 20% of the time. Like a 1 in 5 chance that it's gonna go off. You don't have that on here. But in fact, to kind of show this, I'll turn it on. So, and I'm sorry if I'm being too chatty, but like I said, I really like this game. There was a lot to like about it, so. Each character, if you can get their prestige level to 20, there's 2 types of levels. There's like an in-game level. You know, you pick up the XP pellets and you level up. That's one. Prestige level, you'll get that. Yeah, here it is. It's basically the pure character level, I guess we want to call it that. If you get their prestige to 20, you'll unlock their ascension ability, and it's different for each character. So. Oh, I do? Oh, thank you. I think that's a first. I don't think anyone's ever said that. But I think that's what I got so far. Abilities on the bottom. More on them later. So, you see on the bottom here, that number. Those are my skill points. So, this isn't like other games. The game's not going to come to a sudden stop every time you level up. Okay, and another thing. Most other games, or let me back up. Most other survivor likes, you take damage on contact when you run into them. Not in this game. In this game, there's actual hit boxes and hurt boxes. If they get close to you, they'll, you know. So there's attack animations. So and you can move out of the way and stuff. So that it's probably one of those little things that makes this game awesome. It means you can relax a little bit. You know, you see an enemy on you, you have like a moment or two to get out of the way. It isn't like most other survivor likes. The very moment you get too close to somebody, you gotta like run out of the way like a chicken with its head cut off. Um, all right, so here we are at the level up screen, spending skill points. And then one thing I often forget, the game devs, they're actually from Brazil. I never expected that. I always thought they were, because they have they don't say, they don't say AoE or area effect, they say area modifier. They don't say attack speed, they say cast frequency. Like, they actually get pretty nerdy and technical with the terms. I thought they were just, some knockoff, generic, developing the game in some little office building at an industrial park type game dev or something. But no, they're Brazilian, so that really threw me off. And then in every few levels, you get to choose an ability. But when you're in this particular screen here, you can't skip it, at least not yet. You have to pick one. Which I actually like both. And yeah, the game does have rerolls, banishes, and locks, just like all the other survivor likes. Lock that one. And something else unique to this game. Synergies. So, like War Experience, for example, every time you apply Finesse, you have a 38% chance of getting a stack of Bulwark as well. Mostly made possible by this rune here. If I remember to, I'll explain more on these later. So I gotta take a drink. So yeah, normally it'd be a 25% chance of this kicking in, but since I have this rune here, it's a 38% chance. Oh, and in case anyone's wondering, how do you get Finesse? A lot of these abilities and a lot of these buffs you get are on cast. I don't think you have to actually hit anything. They don't have to actually connect. You just have to do the move. See, you're gonna get a stack. You're gonna get some finesse. You're gonna get a stack of finesse with this. You're gonna get a stack of form and haste. Prowess and resilience. So, which is important because this is one of the bad abilities in this game. It's basically a Final Fantasy 14 MMO type cooldown in 10-second duration, but it's on a 23-second cooldown. This kind of shit, they're too awesome to use. You're only really going to use on bosses. Scent of Blood here is one of those. Flurry, not as bad. And then, once you've gotten your full abilities, though, then you can skip out of choosing abilities, And that's something else that I don't see in other Survivor likes. You're not stuck with these. You don't have to have these for the rest of the run. The next time the option to choose an ability comes up, you could swap them in and out. Again, most other games, once you've chosen your ability, you're stuck with it for life. Not in this game. And then there's this too. All of your attacks have a chance to apply burn or doom or a debuff. So this kind of helps balance out your ability. It helps balance out your kit. So for each thrust ability I have, abilities that are not thrust based are gonna have their crit chance increased, and you can tell which one's which. It shows in the skill type: swing, area, physical. Swing, missile, frontal, physical. Then you have thrust. Then you got slam. And then you have another thrust. But
power surges through my veins. There you are. Your end is near, my giant foe.
And I think the voices are AI generated.
Through the hunt we thrive.
This isn't gonna always be the case. I want to say that immediately. Yeah, he basically went down with one hit, but I'm so advanced in this game, and I'm basically playing on a bare bones, the very first area you get when you first start the game. This is what I'm playing on. After this, I'll be playing on stuff that's kind of on my level. But like I said, I'm just kind of demonstrating how this game works. Another quality of life improvement. Every lord you kill drops a crystal. You pick up the crystal. All the XP on the ground gets pulled to you.
Soulstones.
Multicast. This is a stat that I think is unique to this game. It's a percentage chance that your ability is gonna hit twice. Not the correct term for it. That your ability is gonna go off twice. I mean, at 100%, that's guaranteed. But there's a point of diminishing returns in this. It doesn't mean that at 200%, it's guaranteed to hit 3 times. It's actually at, last I looked, 250%. Then it's guaranteed to go off 3 times. 4 times, you have to get your cash chance to 625% or something like that for the guaranteed 4 times. And while I'm on that subject, crit, only Mega Block that I know of works like this as well. All other games, once you get your crit to 100%, you stop. You don't upgrade it anymore, because anything beyond 100% is a waste. Not in this game and not in Mega Block. Right now what I have here, 128%. So yeah, 100%, it's a guaranteed crit and a 28% chance. They call it a tier 2 crit. I don't know what that means. Nobody explains it. So I'll just go ahead and say it's gonna be a chance of it critting twice. And then we'll say if you get it to 200%, then it's gonna crit 3 times. So, but yeah, so this is a very important stat right here. It isn't like most other games where oftentimes crits often just put on the back burner. I guess you can call it a dump stat. You know, no one gives a shit about it because it don't do much. Not in this game. Yeah, and well, they kind of say it here, area of effect, but then they call it area modifier here. So. Slash is another good one. Yeah, I'll use it to replace throw axe, which this is a melee guy, not a missile one.
Even the gods fear me now. Let's see if you can match your hunter. I sharpen my blade for this. It hungers for more. Strength at the right time.
More on these later.
Light will always be our guide. Your death just makes me stronger. Who's next?
But I have it set this way. But enemies that have health bars over their heads, those are elite enemies. They got, you know, bigger stats, bigger attacks, etc. Ah. Yeah, like these guys with the health bars over their heads, those are elite enemies.
Demon can match my fury. Not you, nor king.
And that's that.
Victory is mine, but the Void King is still out there.
So, at the end of every run, you're usually given as many as 3 options. You can either choose the endless option, which simply means you're going to do another run in another area. Or you can do what's called Overlord mode, which it's going to take you to an arena with enemies that are going to be a lot tougher, but they're also going to give you more XP. So if you're wanting to level up your character and don't care about anything else, you pick this one. If you're mat farming, to upgrade your weapons and whatnot, this is the one you pick. And but if you want to go home, the blue one is the one you pick. And kind of a little quirk of mine, I want to use up my skill points first. And this is an example of another synergy right here. Every time you apply burn, you'll apply a stack of slow as well.
No choice is without a cost.
And you ain't gonna get much XP on this one, so. And then at the end of every run too, it gives you a rundown on how much damage you did. Which flurry and quick strike. It does the same thing for damage over time effects as well. If you remember, you played World of Warcraft. If you remember an add-on called Recount, that's this. Which is another reason why I like this game. I like looking at the stats and stuff.